Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am JayLee. This is JLeesCorner. This is our review for Season 2, Episode 6 of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I know it's late. Don't judge me. I took a day off. Anyway, first things first, if you have not done so already, please come on to subscribe to my channel and become a whole JayBird. JayBird. Dun, 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 dun. My sinuses is still messed up and all that goodness or whatever, so let's move on from that. Sinuses suck. Anyway, let's get ready to breathe. You ready? Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Okay? And remember to relax, to relate, to release, and to center yourself and anyone around you. Okay? Do not forget to also like this video, to comment in the comment section. You can also share it on your social media or follow me on my social media on Twitter or IG at J_Lees_Corner. All of that information is in the description box below. Okay, so I have a couple pictures down, a lot, but whatever. Mel is meeting up her team. She brings up because many more brands have been reaching out to them and to her to do stuff. She had to hire more people. You're spending more money for nothing. You do not need a team of like 10 people at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't think so. Not to handle people reaching out to you to work with them. I think, you know what I'm saying, a team of like 2 or 3 should be okay in the office or whatnot. Okay, now one thing is that somebody wants her to be in a play they're writing, and she is very much so interested or whatever. So then when Martell gets there, and they then bring up how like a new basketball team that's like a men and women wants them to kind of like be a sponsor or to kind of, you know, promote them, and she's like, oh my God, really? He's like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we already have so much going on. Like, we can't keep doing things just because someone, you know what I'm saying, wants us to do it. Like, that's not, I think, work or whatever, because we can't be doing things that consistently does not bring in money, because that's how people go broke. We have to do things that are lucrative, okay? And plus, we got 4 kids. We don't have enough time for this shit. We have to be smart about our time. People forget every opportunity is not one you have to take. You know what I'm saying? Weigh the pros and cons, and if it's not helping you the most, then don't do it, okay? And if you already are stretched too thin, definitely don't do it, okay? We then see Maurice in the office, whatever, chit-chat, I think his sister, whatever, and then Kimmi stops by with dinner because he's studying for the bar, whatever. He's always at the office. He's always busy now. And so to see her man, she came down to see him at the office. I mean, I would have went to them at the office and we would have had sex, but that's just me. Anyway, they sit down, they eating, we're breaking bread, and she brings up how she tried to quit her job. You know, she attempted to put her 2-week notice to her boss, and he was like, nah, I'm not accepting your resignation and everything, you know what I'm saying? And she's like, so they had like a talk, and they came to an agreement that she would stay on for 6 more months, and then she will be done, okay? And I'm like, what that mean? 6 months is a long time to commit to when you were trying to quit your job. I mean, like 2 months maybe, because you give them enough time to find a replacement, but not so much time to where you're there a whole another half of a year. That's a lot of time for someone who's done, but she ain't really done. She only quit because he wanted to. Anyway, like, you know what? I believe people should do what makes them happy, whatever, but you are comfortable, you know, knowing that you get a check every 2 weeks, and that's why, you know what I'm saying, it's hard letting that go. And she reminds him, I am not you. Okay, I am not the person who can thrive on being this entrepreneur. Like, that's not my zhuzh. And saying, I'm confident and I'm comfortable knowing I'm a great nurse. Okay, and plus, I gave this man my word I would stay for 6 months. I'm going to keep my word. Because he wanted her to, like, really go back, like, well, no, I'm not going to. She's like, no, I gave him my word. That's what it is or whatnot. He then said, well, okay, how about I'll pay for everything that you worried about being paid with that paycheck? She's like, no, you know, I have to make sure that when my son graduates college, that I always wanted it to be a thing where he would not graduate college with student loans. So, you know, I feel like if I keep doing this or whatever, when he's done, like, he won't have any debt. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, the whole time her son was in college, Mama paid all the bills. His rent, his car note, car insurance. She handled all of those things so that he could focus on school. And I think a lot of parents don't think about that. Like if your kid is in school, and if you can afford to, I don't mean people who was scratching and surviving, good times, hanging in a child line. I don't mean y'all. I mean what I'm saying, people who can really afford to pay those things for their children. You should do that, because when they're home and when they're out of college, life is going to hit them fast. And it doesn't mean to not teach them how to be responsible. But if you can help them graduate college and not have debt, you give them a better opportunity to not be behind from the start. Okay. Now, she also makes it clear that, taking care of my son's bills is my job. Like, he is my responsibility. Okay. And he like, oh, okay, I guess it is what it is, whatever. Now, we then see that happen. It's fine. We then see later on, her and her son do have a conversation, because she also wants to know, what's your plan, son, when you're done with college? What you gonna do? What's your next step once you're out of college? He said, well, I want to try to work with Marcel, but he told me that I don't have enough experience to kind of work with him on a real level or whatnot. And she said, well, it's fine. He isn't the only contractor around. If that does not work out, we can always seek out someone else who you can work with, you can learn from, to get this experience that you would need to get a job in that field. And that's the hard thing about going to college. You go to college, you then get out of college, and to get a job, they want you to have experience. But I've been in college for 6 years. I don't have the experience. So it's hard to where jobs don't get, in order for people to get experience, they have to get a job in their field first. Okay, but let's move on from that. So Kimmi also asked, like, what's your housing plan? What's that looking like? Oh, well, I figured I could stay here. Well, like, only for like a year, and I would help pay some bills. She said, well, okay, we can do that, but I want you to know that, you still have that plan while you're here. You can't just be here like, oh, I'm just here, I'm gonna be lazy or whatever, and I'll pay a little bit of money here, but I don't have a plan on what to do, because you are surrounded by people who are out here go getting it, okay? Go get us. So you have to have that same mentality, to where you're going out here trying to actively get a job, pounding the pavement, and you're not just sitting around for no whole year. And you're like, okay, that makes sense. It's good to see they were able to have a logical conversation, but we'll see how, it works out or whatnot. So we do see Tisha and her mama. I don't like Wanda because she's batshit crazy. Anyway, so she takes her mom to her hair salon because she wants to get her mama hair done. And you know why? I don't like people in my hair. I don't like new people in my hair. Okay, I don't like that or whatever. But she does let Tisha hairstylist do her hair or whatever. What I can appreciate so much is that they showed the hairstylist washing Miss Wanda's hair so many times on these reality shows. We see these people in these salons at the hairdresser, and no one is ever getting their hair washed. All we see is a done up wig being curled. Did you wash her edges? Her ends? Did you watch this? Did you get deep down in the scalp? Okay. Did you do any of this? Did any of this go on? Okay. My nails thing. But again, like, I liked that I saw that she cleaned that lady hair. Okay, it was good and washed and stuff or whatever. So Tisha, her mama talk or whatever, she was like, Mama, I want you to not be speaking about the hosts, okay, when you be on my podcast. Like, we have to keep it to about you, okay? I don't want to have no more conversations about the hosts or whatnot on my podcast. Look, baby, okay? They shouldn't be talking about you, okay? I'm still mad that she put you on her event, okay? And I would never take my kids to any party with them people. Look, I kind of agree. If you put me out, I don't want to come back. You would have to invite me, come pick me up, and have me walk in with you before I show up again, because I would not want it to be an issue. But again, it's not as if Mel invited Tisha to a private adult situation. You invited her children to her kids' party, and the kids are friends. So that's just different. You know what I'm saying? And Tisha, like, if I'm going to be the bigger person, if I'm going to be the one saying, like, I'm trying to move on, I can't then shut her down when she invites me to something. I mean, it was really your kids, but I digress or whatever. And so Mama then bring up, well, what about Kimmi? Kimmi is fake or whatever. And I don't like how she keep, trying to be in the middle of shit. And I feel like she crossed you at the reunion. I'm like, oh, Wanda, shut it up. Okay. Now, Tisha brings up, well, me and Mel were friends. You know, we were friends because we had stuff in common, okay? But Mel and Kimmi, they not friends, okay? They are not friends. They trying to figure things out and how to like get to know one another, but they not friends. I'm looking like, I mean, girl, whatever. We do see Miss Wanda get her hair done. Honey, that hair look hard, okay? I mean, it looks hard. You know what I'm saying? Like Crips and Bloods hard. You know what I'm saying? Gangsta hard or whatever. It remind me of how we got our hair done back in the 99s and 2000s when it was full of spritz bottles and your hair had to be hard and you couldn't really sleep on it or whatever. I'm like, honey, girl, the fact that we used to get our hair so washed and cleansed only to then stiffen it up with goddamn on cardboard ass spritz is beyond me. But she looked, oh my god, I look amazing. French rolls and body waves in the front. Anyway, we did see Martell and his dad meet up. You know what I'm saying? He took the kids to like a ninja obstacle course or whatnot, and he invited his dad, and the dad showed up. The dad brings about how important it is that the kids. No, Martell brings up how important it was for his kids to have these times to remember of them hanging out with their grandfather, okay, as they get older, which is true. You never realize how, once you are an older person or whatever, when you think back to hanging out with aunts and uncles or grandparents, those are the bonds that build memories that last forever and ever, ever, and ever, ever, and stuff. Okay, so the dad, I love spending time with my grandkids or whatever. It does make me happy, which make Martell happy to hear that his father enjoys spending time with him and his children or whatever. The dad then said, well, how are you and Mel doing or whatnot? Oh, we just really busy, just had the baby, and after the baby, she basically went right back to, working and being all up in it or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I don't like it when I feel like we are not giving our all to our kids, and sometimes we be so busy, I be scared that we're lacking. I feel like the reason Martell is such a good dad, he's a shitty husband. He's a shitty husband. But the reason he gives so much to his children is mainly because his father was not there. Boom, pow, pow. Okay. And Martell, they was just chit chatting or whatever. And Martell does like, well, have you cut your hours at work now? Like, to be around a little bit more? And the dad said, well, not yet. My schedule should be changing pretty soon. You know what I'm saying? Now it's cute. The kid was happy to see Granddaddy. It was cute. I do feel like Martell should not be asked to daddy to cut back working. He may not be able to afford that. Okay, unless you're going to compensate that man for not working, let that man work a job and he can come see y'all when he can. We cannot expect our parents to give up their lives to be fully engulfed in our children's lives, okay? We need to allow our parents to have their own lives. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like there's a difference between I want my kids to have a relationship with my parents versus I need my parents to not be doing whatever they doing and be active. Nah, but that ain't how it go. They raise their kids. You know what I'm saying? They not supposed to be around 24/7. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a balance. Have to have a balance. And I feel like Martell daddy, look, Martell's father look like he has to work. Okay, first of all, I want him to get. I'm not gonna compare that man to no monster I saw in the movie, but I feel like he gives the aura of a man who likes to work or who has to work. So he isn't working because he wants to per se. It's because he probably has to. So let that man have a job and work and let him come see you when he can. Okay, boom, pow, pow. So we do see Mel. Mel meets with the playwright, whose name I think is like Amama. I don't know. I'm gonna call her playwright. I don't know how to pronounce the name, and Mel never said it. And she wants Mel to play the lead female role in the play or whatever. And Mel, it's been so long. It's been too long since I did some real acting, girl. Bye. You acting right now with that man of yours, okay? It's acting and scene, okay? So they talk. The story is about Mel and Martell, girl with Martell. The story is about Mel and Martell because it's about a husband who cheated on the wife. The story came out, in the blogs or whatever. And now the wife, who had this pristine image, has to deal with the shame and the rudeness and the jokes or whatever with having a husband who was cheating. The only difference is it's a pastor who's having sex with a man. He's having sex with the music ministry person or whatever. I'm like, whatever. But I'm like, it's male, it's their story. You just change the outline of it or whatever. But she brought up how, like, the theme of it is how secrets make you sick. You know what I'm saying? And so Mel's character was holding these secrets in or whatever, and I guess it was a lot to go on. It was just a spin on Martell and Mel, if you ask me or whatever. And then Mel said, if I can help anybody feel like, it's not just them, you know what I'm saying, that this also happens to me, and they're not alone, I'm loving to do that. I'm like, okay, I guess so. Now, she goes on, the playwright girl brings up how, I base it in a church, because, basically churches are so judgmental. She brings up how I can never go to church and be openly, AB lesbian. I'm like, AB what? I'm like, is that her blood type? Lesbians is not, like, it's not a lesbian blood type or whatever. And then she's like, what AB lesbian means. A for, because she's asexual. She brings up how she's not a highly sexual person, and she does not even really like sex unless she's the one having it, which means she probably doesn't watch porn. B is because she's also bisexual. She brings up how, I told you before, I was married, I have a son, I love, black, I love our men, however, I don't want dick inside me. Now, how you get, girl, what? You was married and had a baby? Well, I guess you can figure out that you don't want dick inside you. I'm the opposite. I like dick inside me. Anyway, she then said, of course, lesbian because she's a lesbian or whatever. She seemed cool. Okay, and she brings up how the play does have some cursing in the MCN, because mainly, she says some situations, it just deserves a motherfucker. And we have to, like, get it out. I've always said, sometimes you just have to say, motherfucker. And I do it quite often. Anyway, we do see Melly and Martell have dinner with Destiny and LaBerrick. Okay, I had to write LaBerrick's name, LaBerrick, just to know how to pronounce it. LaBerrick. Okay. Now, they dated off and on for several years before getting married. And even before that, or after that, they had a long distance relationship. I don't understand how two people can get married and then have a long distance relationship. What y'all get married for if y'all wasn't gonna be, united or whatnot? But I digress. So, but you can tell they have not spent much time, cohabitating together and having to make choices together. You can tell that they are single people who just happen to be married. Now, she brings up how they have the envelope that shows the sex of their baby, but, she don't want to know. She wants to wait for, like, a little gender reveal. He has wanted to know, but she won't tell him or give him the envelope because she think he will tell her. Girl, foolishness or whatever. They also bring up how he said he hopes for baby number 2, when she get pregnant again, that he can be more, he can have more of a say so. He said, yeah, I feel like in this pregnancy, like, she's been controlling the whole thing. It's been her way or no way. And she said, well, because it's my coochie, so it is what it is. And while I agree it's your coochie, it is what it is or whatever, I also feel like you can't marry somebody and y'all are one, and this is y'all baby, and you feel like he has no say so in the I don't like that. I don't. I feel like that can sometimes cause, just bullshit in the marriage. I think, but that's something a single woman feels like. This is my body, this is my baby, and you can feel how you want to feel, but we're gonna do things my way. I feel in my spirit as a wife, I would be happy that my husband wanted to have a conversation about how things will go, especially if this is about, oh, well, I want to know the sex now. You don't have to know. I would like to know. This is kind of weird. Anyway, they then discuss, her moving in with him. He said, well, it kind of caught me off guard. I said, how? Y'all got married. But he brings up how, at first, she kept changing the time frame when she was going to move with him. At one part, it was March. Then she changed to December. But then she came before. It was just a lot of back and forth, whatever. Mel then brings up, well, I feel like you should have paid for her to move. And I'm like, she paid her own moving fees to move for girl. I'm like, first of all, I don't think any newlywed couple should be sitting up here taking advice from Martell and Mel. I just don't think so. Not that I don't think they have been married long enough to have experience. I feel like they not in the best place right now, so they may not be the best ones to be listening to. Okay, so Martell then brings it, well, as far as the whole thing with her not being sure when she's gonna move in with him, he brings up how, I would have been hesitant too about the moving thing because she don't want to take your last name. Now Destiny then says how, so I feel like I've explained to them why, like, I want to keep my last name because it connects me to my mother and my brother who's dead. I'm saying I want to be connected to my family. And I feel like this. If you want to be connected to your family, why get married? Like, a part of marriage is creating your own family. And it does not mean that you're forgetting your other family. Like, it's not what it is. But you can't want to put your immediate family over your new family. Because when your child is born, who name will your child have? Will it have your last name or your husband's last name? And if it has your last name, that's unfair because, y'all are a married couple. And if it has your husband's last name, now you and your husband and your kid is stupid. I feel like that's the point of people having hyphenated names. Like, I feel like her saying, I don't want to change my last name because I still want to be connected to my immediate family because my brother's dead. Now, I'm like, girl, may he rest in peace, girl. But I feel like you are having a whole new family. And your last name is not the only thing that connects you to them. You know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of crazy, but I digress. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, Beyonce, Giselle knows Carter. And then, so, she like, we can just talk about that in concert or whatever, because we ain't gonna do that. I'm like, it's just seemed too much. Now, she then brings up to them how, with her new salon she's having done or whatever, she was thinking about, some contractors in Huntsville. And she was going to go to Tisha and Marcel because she knows them and those are the only ones she knows about. And Mel was like, nah, Mel was like, we know some people, we'll give you some names or whatever. She said, y'all could maybe use us. Nah. Martell said, no, we too busy. I'm like, Mel, don't do that. Not at the all. We then see it's the day of the party. The kids' party at Lucky Strikes. Okay, they didn't rent out some lanes or whatever. Everyone's there. Even Marcel and Tisha come walking in with their children. And all the kids are happy to see each other. Even the adults are happy to see the other kids. However, the Holtz and the Scotts don't speak to each other. They, we see Marcel greeting all the other guys. We see Tisha greeting all the other women or whatever. But we just don't see Tisha and Marcel and Martell and Melody talking to each other. Okay. But people are at least being cordial and being nice, and no one walked in trying to fight nobody or whatever. But I can still feel like it was a bit of tension in the room or whatever. So we do see, Tisha goes over to Kimmi because she wanted to try to apologize to Kimmi about her mama Wanda and how Wanda acted at the day that the party or whatnot. And, I'm so sorry, my mom put some time to get beside herself or whatnot. And I just, want you to know that I'm just sorry that it happened. It was okay. I appreciate your apology. However, it's fine. I can handle your mom. I give her the same energy that she gives me. So it's fine. I'm looking like, give it to her. Give it to her. Okay. And Tisha also brings up how, and moving on with stuff, whatever, she came to the party because she did not want to be the one to not be actively trying to move past things because, again, she was invited this time or whatever. And, that's right. That's a good thing. Just remember, keep your mama out of it. But, yeah, that is right or whatever. We then see the men bowling. And we see Marcel and Martell are, there too. Is Martell, is Marcel, is Jalen, who was Kimmy's son. Or Maurice is there. Cedric, whatever his name is. They are all the guys, okay? Even LaBerrick or whatever. But clearly it's just Marcel and Martell were just not talking, but they're still bowling in the same area. It's like it was just funny. I'm looking like these men were just not, and they both were kind of upset that the other one did not speak to. I'm looking like, but y'all both didn't speak. Cause y'all both mad. Girl, it's kind of whatever. We then see Mel and Tisha say, "Oh, we can talk right now. We can go talk." They go into a separate room to have a conversation or whatever. And then, they both say how they were happy, the kids, we're happy to see one another, whatever, and how the kids are still friends or whatever. Tisha then said, I was like, that's the reason I came to your event. And I'm saying, I was coming to celebrate you and to say how great it was, for what you're doing or whatever. Oh, so you don't think that you could have just sent me a text first? Send that in a text and then ask me if I mind, if I would mind if you came to my event. She's like, well, let's just stay on topic right now. She was like, no, this is on topic. I'm saying that was not the right time for you to do that. Like, not at the, my event or whatever. I'm saying you came trying to ruin my brand. She's like, Mel, what is your brand? My brand is about women empowerment, okay? Like, I empowered you to come out your house. I said, well, girl, the foolishness of it all, okay? And then it went off. So, until next week. Peace.
So filled with stress.